confusing sport. It's probably the most confusing sport you'll ever watch. But basically, it is 15 guys from 2 teams in a game of controlled chaos. It's you're basically just running back and forth with the ball, trying to score more points than the other team. It's the easiest way to describe it. It's an 80-minute game, and it is extremely rough. So this is my rugby background. That's me. For the last few years, I've been playing for GBR, but we're now ERA Sacramento. I started in 5th grade. I've played in 2 national tournaments. We're actually, the rankings just came out last week. We're actually 2nd in the nation right now. We're going to be playing in our 3rd national tournament this year. This year it's in Utah. I've played for the ERA national team, U17s, in British Columbia, Canada. We've played against the top high school team from Australia, or a high school age team from Australia. They came here and we played a game, and then they stayed in our house, and they left. And same with New Zealand, we had visitors from there. They had, we billeted them, which is where they just stay with us, then we play them, and then they head home. Next one. So there's basically two positions. There's forward. I'm glad Andrew's here for this. He's gonna love the next slide. So there's forwards and backs. I'm a forward. Andrew is a back. Forwards, we do all the dirty work. We're the bigger guys. We hit hard. We run hard. We're down in the trenches. We're bleeding. We're getting injuries. We get no recognition, and of course, we're the ugly ones.
Well, after that happens.
Oh, if you go back, this is actually called a scrum cap, and it does nothing for concussions. It's basically there so you don't get your ears ripped off or get cauliflower ear where your ears look disgusting. Alright. Next slide. So these are the backs. That's Andrew. They're the little guys. They're fast. They score more, and they do less work. They're standing there while the forwards are working our butts off, and then the ball gets to them, and somehow they score.
You sound a little bitter.
I'm not biased at all. They do complain, and they drop the ball a lot. They do get a lot of recognition, though. They kick the ball like Drew. He's probably the best kicker I've ever seen. Next slide. Okay, so there's passing. There's 2 types of passes. There's the knuckleball, and then there's the spin pass. The knuckleball is when you're standing, like, you'll be like 3 feet from a guy, and someone will be running on full speed, and you're just gonna pop it to him, so the ball has no spin. And then a spin pass is when you're 20 feet away from a guy, and you have to spin it to get it there. You wanna keep your hands pointed at your target. It just makes everything easier, so the ball's not going everywhere. And there's my video ad. If you want to play that.
Guys, my name is VanOrder. This is my instructional video on how to throw rugby. There are 2 types
Those are
of
rugby
passes.
shorts. They're
There's
really
the
short.
knuckleball, and there's the spin pass. A knuckleball, you want your hands on the sides of the ball, and you just flick it with your wrists.
It's kind of like a scooping motion.
For the spin pass, you want 1 thumb at the top of the ball and 1 thumb at the bottom of the ball. So when you pass it, it rotates. Thank you for watching.
And next slide. And then there's hitting. In my opinion, hitting is the best part about rugby. It's fun because there's no pads, but if you go like full bore, then it doesn't hurt. It's kind of sounds weird saying it out loud, but it's true. The harder you hit, the less it hurts. It's more of a wrestling takedown, like as you can see up there. It's not really like hitting in football because you just fly in and hit them with your head or something or your shoulder. You're grabbing them and you're wrapping around and you're kind of like lifting them and dipping them. It's fun to run people over. Yeah, and it's extremely physical. I have a fun little video there. It's, we don't have to watch the whole video. So that was a high tackle. Pretty much the only rules are that you have to wrap up. You can't just hit them with a shoulder and they can't really go down. You have to wrap them and go down with them. And you can't go above like shoulder length. You have to be below. And we could go to my website. Yeah, you're just gonna have to scroll down. So that's pretty much just about the sport. I already did that. So there's special set pieces in the game. There's scrumming, which I'm sure if you've seen rugby, you've seen a scrum. There's rucking, lineouts, and a maul. Scrumming is 8 players from each team. They're the forwards. They come together, kind of just like come in like that, and then it's like kind of a reverse tug of war. You're pushing the other person, and the scrum half, he's one of the backs, places it in between the 2 teams, and then the hooker is the one that puts his foot up and hooks it back, and it's got to go underneath all of the forwards, and that's a scrum. I don't know if that made any sense, but I did my best. Yeah, there's a video. They're extremely tiring. So, this right here, this is the scrum half, and he's placing the ball in. These are the props. I'm a prop. And then the hooker's in the front. He's got to get his leg up to hook the ball back. And then these guys are all just back here pushing. Yeah, it gets pretty intense. This one's kind of crazy. They're pushing for so long in their cleats. We have like half-inch long metal spikes. Like you can see the metal spikes on these shoes, and they actually pick up the grass, and it's like folded. But like the ball won't move because both teams are just pushing. Yeah. So that's a scrum. Backs don't have to do anything like that. A ruck.
You have to run.
This is a ruck.
You have to run.
Backs do have to ruck if the forwards don't get there in time. That happens after every tackle. So you get tackled and you have to place the ball back, and then the guy that tackled you is gonna get up and he's gonna stand over you and try to get the ball. But if somebody I get tackled, somebody on my team has to stand over me and protect the ball, kind of. And then another guy will come in and just create another one of these things, and that's a ruck. And then a ruck is formed, and the defensive player can no longer grab for the ball. Up here, this is a maul. A maul can form at any time on the field. It's basically just when one person gets held up and they're not going to the ground, you're gonna basically create a small scrum, and both teams are just gonna drive. Yeah, I think there's one on that video down there too, but that's a line out. And a line out is basically a throw in like in soccer, except you're lifting the guy from the shorts.
Tactics are line out.
And I'm one of the guys that lifts someone
Is that right?
Yeah.
So then, anything else?
in the air. Well, I was gonna have the team pass the ball around, but
We'll do
I
that
guess we can do that tomorrow.
Thank you guys, thanks.